You know us by now. If you've been tuning in, this is how we do it. We pick one book that just has to be the book of the week. And our comic book, our Heroes World comic book spotlight is none other than Saga number 55. Jesse, you are quasi up to date with this book. I read Saga in hardcover, so man, good lord, who knows when the next hardcover is coming out? Got to be a year from now. So I flipped through the book. Of course, the art's fantastic, it's
Yep.
beautiful, but I couldn't read it because I would be lost and there'd be lots of spoilers because there's only 3 hardcovers so far. So, Jesse, let's get a rundown. What were your
Ooh.
thoughts of Saga
So
number 55?
I have Saga. Let's go back. I've read, I think, volume 1 of the trade paperbacks.
Okay.
That was going to be my pandemic goal, was to get through the whole Saga thing, and it kind of fell through the wayside. Oops.
Okay.
I thought I had more time to get caught up, but I guess 3.5, 4 years wasn't long enough. My bad. So I'm going to look at it from both. I have a little bit of knowledge and I have no knowledge.
Okay.
So I want to pretend for a second I'm a first time reader, and if this is a good jumping on spot
All right.
with my knowledge that I have, which is very limited. I think I know Marco, Elena, and what's her name? Hazel? Hazel's the
Yep.
baby, right? So the whole story is from Hazel's perspective, correct? It
Yes,
starts
it
off
is.
with her being born, and then it goes through her life, and we're following Hazel. And you're up to date on all the hardcovers, right?
Yes, I have finished up to 1, 2, and 3.
So you're at 54. That's where you finish. You finish on the big event, right?
Actually, trying to remember. No, you know what? Yes, there was the cliffhanger ending. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So this takes place, I think, funny enough, 3 years after that big event. Everybody's moved on, but not really moved on. We see the Will, the bounty hunter, the Merc, the hired gun. We see
Yep.
Hazel. She's grown up. How old would she be now? Around 10, I believe it is. And we
Yep.
see Elena. When I first started reading this, I was like, "What is different about her?" What I couldn't put my finger on it. Then I was looking at pictures from the first volume. No,
Yeah.
she's got blonde hair and not green. I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, how am I so dumb?" But it was a really good. It's a good continuation. It's a very good jumping on spot. If you don't know the characters, it gives you an introduction to the characters. Hazel gives her little backstory. She's talking about her father, who is no longer in the picture. She's talking
Yep.
about her mother. Her mother's very protective of her. She doesn't let her go far. So Hazel's kind of like her mother, like her father, kind of a rebel, just for the sake of being a rebel. Um, it actually starts off with her running through a market and some guy chasing her, and she's like, "He's trying to take pictures of me without any clothes on. Somebody stop him!" Right? And then eventually cops come in and break up the two. And then do you remember what the people are called? What the corn people are called?
I don't.
So that side, which is Marco's um,
Race.
race, one of them comes down and they're like, "Is this a friend of yours?" And she does something. She kind of blows up the market as a suicide bombing. So we don't exactly know what's going on, but if you've read the stuff before, you know that there's a raging war going on throughout the galaxy,
Yes.
correct?
Yep.
So as a new reader, if you look at this, you don't know what's going on, but your interest is sparked. You want to
Yep.
know what's going on. You want to know if that girl actually knew the other girl, right? We've got a new character. I think his name is Bomba. He's the guy from the front cover there, the guy with the arm. Sorry, the guy with the robotic arm there.
Yep.
He's kind of the henchman of Elena. When we catch up with Elena, she's in a market selling formula, but she does it very interestingly. She goes and exposes herself, saying, breast milk isn't good, have formula. So it's I don't know what's going on. I think that's Brian K. Vaughan playing with the consumer, trying to sell the nudity. The panels right after that is another scene with a lot of nudity in it, putting it
Well,
lightly.
the book's always had a little bit of that. It's an adult book, and the language and dialogue, and of course subject matter do lend to that. But at least it's not like, well, there was the early robot sex scene in the first volume that was very gratuitous.
If you're just tuning in now, you're wondering what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But
But
it seems
the cool thing with this issue, though, is, as you were saying, it's almost like a double-sized issue, right? There's a lot going on, so it does catch you up to if you are a new reader, but at the same time, it isn't a advertised jumping on point. Like, I don't think they really expect people to just be like, oh, hey, I'm going to start reading this at 55 and not go backwards. It might be one of those things. Oh, I'm going to see what the buzz is all about. And like, oh yeah, man, I got to read this. So would you say that it would have accomplished that for you? Like, you want to go back and get up to current, like catch up on your trades?
yeah, of course. I've always wanted to read a Saga. It's just something I put on the back burner for so long. But yeah, I think it does both. If you want to jump on here, there is that lore that you can go back and read if you want, or you can just continue reading from here because it reintroduces all the characters 3 years later. This is what we're doing. This is what's going on. There's a lot of intrigue behind it. There's what's the robot races? There's a robot in there, and I thought they were bad guys from my first reading of the volume. And there's a robot, and he's hanging out with all of them. And there's a lot of backstory you want to get caught up on, but you don't have to, if that makes sense. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like you can continue
sure.
on. It seems like 55 if you want to jump on and you don't want to go back. Obviously, the story is going to be a lot better if you do go back.
If
But
you do, yeah. But
I
the
think
one thing that stayed consistent is just the imagination of the book and the art. Like, look at this. This is just a fantastic image. The book has always been, I've always found it nice and unique and refreshing. The art style is really cool, and their vision of a future and a kind of a galactic civilization stuff has always been top notch. Brian K. Vaughan, and a very amazing writer, as well as he picked a really good co-pilot in Fiona Staples for the art. Like, they're a really good pairing. So
she doesn't do anything else either, does she?
I
haven't seen
not
her name
currently.
come
I
up.
think she's done some stuff in the past. Like, I think she did some I remember her working with Archie. She did a Archie reimagining. I think that was with Mark Waid, if I remember correctly. But yeah, no, it's super cool.
It's a great book. You're only get more enjoyment out of it if you go and read the 3 hardcovers or the what is it, 6 graphic novels.
I think it's 8 or 9, maybe even. Yeah.
The 54 issues before, and I think at the end there's a letter, and he says he's going to go up to 109.
Wow.
So this is the halfway point, I believe. So,
well, let's hope he gets there without another 3-year hiatus.
I think it's closer to 4, but who's counting?
Yeah, exactly. As always, thank you for tuning in, and continue to check us out. Heroes World online. That is where you're going to find us. All kinds of content. And remember, please, if you can, like, subscribe, tell a friend, help us spread the word.